when you walk open, it's on your behalf. You're not just walking out on. I think that was one of them, and definitely the speeches by the guys beforehand. And you listen to them, it's kind of different. You're sitting there, you're all alone, and they're kind of looking right at you. But it was good.
It sounded like Dustin Brown was really emotional when he was speaking. Did that surprise you?
A little, yeah. I mean, it's great because that was kind of what we were trying to do. You leave impressions on these guys, but I mentioned to these guys last night when we did our little thing in the current players where I said that the impression that they're leaving on next generation is the same thing. So, I was fortunate to see it with Luke's banner going up and feel that and be in that kind of experience. And now these guys are getting the same type of thing.
Can you give us one of your favorite highlights as a King? I know there's many, but one that comes to mind?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the funny thing here the last couple of days is mostly the hit. Everyone asks about those, but I watched some of them, like kind of cringe at some of the things I was doing. I'm not sure the body would take now, anyway. So.
Or were they legal?
Not very. That's why I got out when I had to.
When you saw your jersey or your number first up there in the rafters, what was the first kind of emotion that hit you when you finally saw it up there?
Probably being fortunate throughout a career. It's like all those guys you play with and everything. You're very lucky if you get to that point where you can have your jersey retired, and a lot of it has to do with the people you're surrounded with and your longevity. You got to be lucky too. So, all that kind of stuff comes into play when you're sitting there.
Can I give one opponent that you had a hit on that comes to mind that you always remember?
Well, the one clip on in St. Louis, I think it was Jochen Heck is who it was the one that I've seen over and over. That's probably one that would stick out.
You said you knew that you wanted your jersey up there in those rafters.
Yeah.
Why was it so important to go down as part of this organization's history?
Well, for me, getting to the NHL is one thing, and once I understood that and played in there, I wanted to make an impression that lasts. I wanted to be able to be fortunate enough to be able to play a long time and do the right things, and one day have that. So it kind of all comes to fruition here when you walk out tonight. So very nice.
One minute you're getting your jersey retired, and the next minute you're back upstairs working.
Yeah.
You went right back to work.
I went up just to watch tonight. I'm an advisor. No, that's the best part. You get up there, and I sit with those same guys every night. We get to talk about the game and things. So it makes it nice and relaxing.
That's about what it was like playing with Wayne Gretzky.
It was great. Like I said, I think being fortunate to be able to play with great players, Hall of Famers, and everything at the beginning, but to be able to watch him and the way he handled himself on and off the ice, I think any young guy would prepare them for professional life. Be the best guy to watch.
Can you describe your career in a few words if you were to sum it up?
A few words, fortunate would be the only word I can really think of. I touched on it, I think, in November at the Hall of Fame thing, too, is that you're fortunate who you play with, you're fortunate to be able to play long, and you're fortunate to be able to win in different situations. So all those things kind of come in that way.
Rob, you mentioned the growth of youth hockey. You mentioned the growth of
Larry,
youth.
your first defense partner, or was it someone?
Yeah, when Larry was Winnipeg, I remember playing, he's walking in, and my jersey was beside him. And Larry, Tim Waters, and Tom Laidlaw the first year there for the most part.
Rob, you mentioned the growth of youth hockey over the last 20, 25 years here in SoCal. What would be your message to any parents who have a kid playing right now?
Wow, I think it's tremendous. I'm involved at youth level, just having my own kids playing, and to be able to see it, to take a team from California to go to Chicago, to go to Boston or Toronto area, and compete on that same level. And then you see Arizona State get a Division I school. It's coming this way eventually, but it's the talent that is out here. It's really nice to see.
Hey Rob, when you look up and it's you and Dave and Luke and Wayne and sort of the guys who laid the foundation, when you see yourself with them, what does that make you feel like?
Well, I just think the way the franchise has gone, and believe me, with the team that's on the ice tonight with two cups in the last 3 years, you're going to see a lot of those jerseys up there. But they also had to be kind of paid to get to that level. And you look at Marcel and Rogie on, and through those years. It's funny, I was talking to Bruce McNall beforehand, and he was all excited because he had 3 or 4 of those guys play underneath him. So I think just for the franchise part of it.
Is there a guy that's on the team currently, or even in the league, that kind of reminds you of a younger version of yourself?
I don't know. You know, I mean, I think we're real fortunate. Most of you guys here that get to follow the Kings, you get to watch Drew Doughty every night. I don't think there's a better player at that position right now that can control a game like that. So for me, when I sit upstairs, it's fun to watch. I watch Brady McNabb come in. He's played 30, 40 games in the league, and you can see him establish himself as that physical type player.
What kind of imprint do you want to leave on this team as an executive?
I think more sharing my experiences. You know, I think when you play 20 plus years, you pretty much get through every situation. You've been in different things in that, and whether you're going on a winning streak, losing streak, and that. But to share those experiences, and like I said, we had that dinner last night, and you hear some of the old stories, and then today when I'm walking around the room with the current players, you know, they start asking more and more about those. And I think that's how the history game gets passed on.
You wish Noel was still the owner so you could get a Rolls Royce out of it like Wayne did?
It would have been a nice gift. No, it was great to see Bruce, interact with some of the alumni that were here, and the ones that, he got a different way of owning a team. It was nice to be part of.
Thoughts about Daryl Sutter and him being able to lead this team to 2 Stanley Cups in a few years that he's been here?
Yeah, it's funny to see Luke talk a little bit about family in his speech and that, but I think that's kind of what was instructed from Dean and Daryl and the way they treat this. It's not always the smoothest relationships, a little bit of tough love, but it is like a family where he's got those players' backs.
Tough love between Daryl and his players.
Yeah, but the players know that and they understand it. But I always tell the players too. I said, when you come upstairs, if you guys understood some of the things that he does for you guys, and he goes out of his way to do, he's pretty passionate about this guys.
Rob, was there anybody that was here today or a message that you got that surprised you or you didn't expect at all?
Not really. I mean, I was fortunate being Matty Nordstrom up there. And, I meant a lot throughout my career, and to have guys travel that distance from Sweden and different things. But it was fun to see guys from all the different generations. There's different stories that go on with each one of those teams, and you get to relive them again.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you guys.